Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're skipping the usual fad diet talk and getting straight into the hardcore biological science behind fasting. We're going to explore exactly how your body flips a very specific, deeply ingrained internal switch. It's an absolutely incredible process that shifts your entire metabolism, and honestly, understanding it might just completely change the way you think about when and how you eat. Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens inside your body when you stop eating for 12 hours? For most of us, living on a typical modern diet, 3 full meals a day plus constant snacks, the answer is, well, not much. And that's simply because we never actually reach that 12-hour mark. Our insulin levels stay elevated, and our bodies are just constantly processing food. But when you do finally cross that threshold, a completely fascinating cascade of physiological events begins to unfold. Section 1, the fasting phenomenon. Let's look at this ancient survival tool. So intermittent fasting isn't just some new age biohacking trend, right? It's literally hardwired into our biology. Think about the modern Western diet for a second. That continuous influx of food keeps us stuck on just one energy setting, continuous glucose. We basically never tap into our reserves. But contrast that with our hunter-gatherer reality. Think about a pack of wolves in the wild. Their survival absolutely relies on their brains and bodies functioning at peak optimal levels in a fasted state just so they can track down their next meal. And humans, we evolved with that exact same metabolic flexibility. Before we get into the biology of how we tap into that flexibility, let's quickly establish some ground rules you'll see in the clinical data. First up, time-restricted feeding, or TRF, which usually means fasting for 12 to 16 hours a day. Then there's ADF, alternate day fasting, where you completely fast for 24 hours every other day. And finally, ADMF, which is a modified version where you keep your intake under 25% of your normal calories on those fast days. Keep these terms in mind as we look at the clinical results later on. Section 2, the metabolic switch. Time to look at the cellular level biology. We're zooming in from the big lifestyle picture down to the microscopic cellular level to meet what we call the metabolic switch. This right here is the core concept of our entire explainer today. It's your body's preferential shift from using glucose, which you store in your liver as glycogen, to utilizing fatty acids and fatty acid-derived ketones for energy. Literally, this is the switch flipping your body from fat storage mode straight into fat mobilization mode. It's your body realizing, hey, no food is coming, so it unlocks the vault of stored energy. Let's track exactly how this happens on a timeline. At hour 0, you stop eating. Simple enough. For the first several hours, your body hums along normally, pulling glucose right from your liver to feed your brain and tissues. But right around that 12-hour mark, those liver glycogen stores become physically depleted. And that depletion, that is the precise trigger point. From 12 to 36 hours, your body rapidly accelerates lipolysis, which is just the breaking down of adipose tissue, or fat. Free fatty acids are transported into your liver, converted into highly efficient fuel called ketones, and then those flood your system. Section 3, brain and body benefits. Let's explore those systemic responses. So what does all of this mean for you on a day-to-day basis? Well, the sheer variety of these rapid-fire systemic responses once that switch is flipped is just amazing. We see reduced systemic inflammation. We see stimulated autophagy, which is essentially your cells taking out their own microscopic trash. We see mitochondrial biogenesis via the SIRT3 and AMPK pathways, meaning your cells are literally building brand new power plants. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the increase in BDNF production. That stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Ketones actually stimulate your brain to grow brand new neurons and form new synapses. 30. Now, in the world of biology, that is a massive number. In preclinical studies, laboratory rats maintained on an alternate day fasting regimen saw a 30% increase in their average lifespan compared to the ones fed continuously. 30%. Plus, they maintained lower body weights, showed better cardiovascular stress adaptation, and even kept up high levels of daily physical running. And those benefits? They just continue to ripple right through the central nervous system. Because ketones are such a preferred clean-burning fuel, they actively protect neurons. In animal models, researchers found that this metabolic shift protects the brain against the severe degeneration we typically see in Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and even during a stroke. It essentially builds incredible stress resistance directly into your brain. Section 4, Fat Loss and Practicalities. Time for the human clinical trials. We definitely need to ground this evolutionary science in human reality and just look at the consistency of this data. When reviewing eligible clinical trials testing alternate day modified fasting on human subjects, 10 out of 10 trials resulted in significant reductions in body weight and fat mass. That is a 100% success rate in these specific controlled studies. And half of them reported clinically meaningful weight reductions of more than 5 kilograms in just a matter of weeks. But it's not just about what you lose. It's about what you keep. So the crucial point is this. Intermittent fasting promotes fat loss while actively retaining your functional lean muscle mass. This is a huge advantage over traditional continuous calorie restriction, which often causes you to lose muscle right alongside the fat. And why does this happen? Well, remember our hunter-gatherer? The ketones serve to preserve your muscle tissue, ensuring you still have the physical strength to hunt down food even while you're fasting. However, we've got to look at this impartially and recognize the practical challenges here. As India Today highlighted in a really important caveat, haphazardly skipping meals without any real structure can completely backfire. If you just skip a meal but don't actually fast long enough to deplete your glycogen and fully flip that metabolic switch into ketosis, you're going to end up incredibly hungry, super irritable, and highly likely to ruin any metabolic benefits by just binge eating later in the day. Structure is absolutely key.
Section 5. The Future of Fasting. What's ahead in clinical science?
To cross the barrier into widespread medical adoption, the scientific community definitely has some specific clinical needs moving forward. We need more randomized controlled trials for normal weight subjects, just so we can see the health span benefits beyond just obesity treatments. We also need to actively study what happens when we combine fasting with resistance training. But most importantly, future studies must use actual plasma ketone levels as biomarkers. We have to measure the blood to ensure patients are truly flipping the metabolic switch, rather than just relying on them self-reporting their fasting hours. Which brings us to the ultimate question, the one you should probably be asking yourself right now. Are you metabolically flexible enough to flip your own switch? Can your body comfortably and efficiently transition from utilizing glucose to burning stored fat for fuel? It's a fascinating, deeply powerful capability built right into your DNA, just waiting to be reactivated. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack the fascinating biological science of the metabolic switch. If you found this explainer helpful and insightful, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Press that bell icon so you never miss out on our future explainers. And of course, if you need us, please visit our clinic, Dr. Gangadhar Physiotherapy Center, for any physical therapy and emergency pain relief treatments. The link is right there for you. Stay metabolically flexible, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.